It's March 30th, 2025, Sample Sunday. I'm back at Einstein. I had a new place in mind, but I mistakenly thought it was going to be open very early, like 6:30 a.m., getting there at 7. But it didn't open up to 9 o'clock on this Sample Sunday. And so I had to go to Einstein Brothers Einstein. And as you can see, the prices didn't go up on the eggs yet. That's a good sign. But one interesting thing that happened this morning, I guess there was a disgruntled customer. You know, sometimes they don't have all the bagels you need. There was quite a few. And sometimes business is probably better than what they expected. It doesn't matter what day it is. It could be any day, any 7 days. And he's getting mad at the people who work behind the counter. I know I bought some things there that I had to substitute for because they didn't have the bagel or something. They made mistakes and they corrected it usually. Sometimes the minor mistakes I don't even mind. Don't mean to mind at all. But yeah, he was going out there huffing and puffing, asking the person's name behind the counter. He did want to give out his name. And sometimes you don't have to be giving out your name for no reason at all, just because you work behind the counter. Because maybe the person who's the customer is making a big deal out of nothing. Even though he placed an order in, it's not ready, whatever the reason, I'm sure they try to do the best they can to rectify any type of mistake. And that leads me to what we've been experiencing in the last 2 months. Making the United States a laughing stock in the world. A country that is richer than any other country in the world that wants its people to tighten up the belt for no apparent reason. We have all the resources in the world. We even have enough money to house every homeless person in the United States. And I say that because they don't really go by the gold standard anymore. They print up money. And if everyone do things in a form of help, and I'm talking about the people who have a lot of money, the government itself, we pay our taxes, they don't have to raise taxes. That money is going someplace else. How many czars do you need to study the subsidy? That's what I said. How many czars you need to study the subsidy? It doesn't make any sense that if you're pumping money into the system, it's supposed to take care of those needs. There is no reason why a very old person should be walking the streets. I don't care what condition they're in. There is no apparent reason, unless you want to be out there. But even then, there are rules and restrictions you should follow. If there's someone who seems like they're out of place and not doing what they're supposed to, they're embarrassing themselves, then the authorities who we're paying the taxes for should take care of the problem. Without a problem. The richest country in the world can give grants to very rich people, and many of those people are not doing anything of service but giving to other people that don't deserve it. Out of those people who they seem are not deserving of help, I'm sure there's a fraction of people in there who can get out of this situation and can help this country. But then again, we already have things in place where we don't necessarily have to. Where we don't have to bring up someone, a rising star that was there all the time, that is down on their luck for whatever reason. But we have all the natural resources here to make this country keep going. And yet, we have people in power who wants to change the whole system, the whole checks and balances. And why can't we get rid of these people like right now? We don't need a vote. If you're doing things clearly that's against the law. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. How come felons can now be president? If you really are, and it's not doing anything to other people, because they generally have felons that's really doing something really, really terrible for whatever it is that's categorized under the felon. But clearly, if you're still making mistakes that hurt the common people who've been paying taxes, who've been doing things right, that's the majority of people who work, I don't think you should be in office. You don't shut the door on people who are living a comfortable life when the system was geared for that. Now, everything has its problems. But this is a capitalist society. Money is being spent, but money is being misappropriated. But just like I said, money doesn't have no value when you're helping people, and that's where it should be. Because really it doesn't take a lot of money. If you put things in place, you already got the buildings, you already got the infrastructure. You're still building better infrastructures. And many times the infrastructures are changing. We don't need power lines going from pole to pole practically anymore. Everything is in the air. Hardwire is going away in some aspects, not in all. But money is being generated. Taxes have been generated. And working class people are the ones who are still making this country go. Regardless of how much money you got, you will not be anyone unless you have somebody under you, unless your money has been passed down and stolen. Or stolen. Because if you don't give back, it will come back to you in some other kind of way. So we're the laughing stock in the world. Not only the laughing stock, but we are a powered country who does not know how to use power anymore because we have the wrong people in place. And we really are bringing out the worst of the worst that were there all the time, and we knew they were there. So yes, the United States is headed to be not just a third world country because we don't give back. It's not becoming a third world country because of the cultural differences. It's becoming a third world country because people with money think that they can change everything. And we know that's not true. You're preying on the ignorant and the dumb. And if the ignorant and the dumb believe people because they got money, then that's why we have problems. Some of us can still eat and drink comfortably. And if we already have something, we don't need no one to change our way of life. Because in the end, we must change those that think they are way better than us. We should change their life. And we will change their life. I think sometimes there is a such thing as too much money because people think just because they have money, they have power. And if they didn't have money, and they know how to use the system, preying on ignorance, because the ignorant and the dumb don't see other people the same way when they're hurting. I'm going to say it again. If you take away from the masses is going to have to take it away from you. And that's a fact of life. If you're going to mess up the system, if you want to change the way the USA is doing things, you know what's going to happen. It will be changed. But we don't need someone to dictate or give us crumbs. I don't care how many pages of paper you sign. We can always tear it up and burn them, throw them in the trash, and go back where we left off.